Hello there, welcome to Genesis Models. My name is Bob Waldron and welcome to this inbox review. We're going to be taking a look at this F-4G Phantom 2 by Meng Models in 1/48 scale. Now this is a brand spanking new tool, in 2022, so nice and new. I am quite excited about this one because I've been so impressed by Meng Models Hornet just here. It's been going together absolutely beautifully. So, liking our F4 Phantoms, this should go together beautifully as well. So let's open this up and check it out. I mean, the box art looks really nice, by the way. What we've got on the sides, I mean, it does show us on the sides a few little things there, kind of, showing us that, oh, it does look like we get ladders and all those weapons and all that good stuff. It does show the AK interactive paints as well. So let's start getting out some plastic. Let's start off with the first one. Let's get a good look at our surface detail, which this one should show it off quite nicely. We've got the bottom part of our wing section and fuselage, right? Feeling very smooth, right? If we get you in a little bit closer, right, we can see lovely recessed rivets, recessed panel lines, right? Looking at a nice consistency on this piece, and looking very crisp. Loving those recessed panel lines there. You can just see how lovely they all look. We've even in our air brakes just here got what feels to be, yes, raised rivets as well. So nice detail inside of there, right? Nothing major on the inside, right? We've got our main part of the fuselage section as well, just here, with a little bit inside. So with this kit, it's kind of following the Academy kit in the sense that let's just say like Hasegawa, we've just done a step-by-step on the Hasegawa build, right? It's two halves coming together. This kind of like brings it all together as kind of like one piece. Problem is with that, I mean, the Academy one, I mean, you saw sort of like mold lines sort of going down here, which I'm just trying to inspect it, and I'm not seeing any sort of mold lines, because it's kind of like when they do it like this, you end up with it's like, I think it's like 3 or 4 kind of molds coming together to make something like this, and you can sort of see those mold lines, but I'm not seeing anything on this one. It just looks nice and consistent and crisp throughout, so there's no kind of going off and doing a bit of sanding to get rid of maybe a little bit of mold lines. We're looking actually really good. It kind of makes it a little bit easier so our spine doesn't have like a join line going on down there. I am quite impressed with that. Really cool detail. But yeah, the surface detail on this is looking just like the other piece we've just seen, nice and consistent. We do have some cool detail around the cockpit area, as you can see just there. Inside, there's probably not much going on the inside, which there isn't, which is fine. Moving along, I won't get everything out of the bags, but we've got our air intakes here, which I'm kind of just seeing, yes, the surface detail is looking nice and consistent throughout as well, and just knowing from just doing the Hasegawa one, I mean, the detail is definitely looking better than the Hasegawa one. Right, and then we've got our bits going on there. So moving along, we have another sprue just here. Top wing section. Got some nice weapons with this kit as well. Again, surface detail, as you can see, very crisp, very consistent throughout. Wing tips just here. Maybe seeing a little bit of flash, maybe just on the ends, just there. Nothing major going on there. Flaps looking good. There we go, flipping this all over, not seeing any nasty ejector pin marks. I mean, our slats, I mean, I am seeing some ejector pin marks in there, but they should get covered up really. We've got a little bit of detail, some raised sort of rivets for our wheel wells just there. You can just see that internal detail there. We've got some weapons here. I forget which ones these are. Is this the HM88 harm missiles? Either way, you know, they are again recessed panel lines and rivets, same sort of crisp level detail throughout. The adapt pylons going on there with recessed rivets and all that stuff, and there's 2 of them in there. Moving along with some more, got some duplicate pieces just here. So we have our ejector seats, which again, I mean, the level of detail, hopefully as you could see, is really top notch with this kit. Looks like we have air intakes or exhaust going on here, something along those lines. We'll check the instructions, but yeah, again, so crisp. Our wheels, they're in 2 halves. The hubcaps again looking so crisp. Exhausts, right, nice fine detail. Let's flip this over. Do have an ejector pin mark there, but I'm sure that gets covered up. Inside the exhaust, actually looking pretty nice and smart and well detailed in there. Yeah, we've got our guessing this is more of the internal exhaust area. I am seeing a big sort of ejector pin mark there, but I'm kind of thinking, looking at that little groove that's just in there, that maybe an air intake fan or something will go in there, and you won't see that ejector pin mark. I'm not too worried about that, so looking good there as well. Moving through, we do have loads of what are these, the Mavericks in here. There's 6 altogether, so we've got a nice couple of Mavericks going on, and the detail does look the same and good as the other weapons that we just saw. Next bag, right, we've got some cockpit detail in this one. We've got our what is it, the horizontal stabilizers just here. Again, that detail is absolutely gorgeous, nice and crystal clear. Flip this over, you see it the same on the other side. We do have looks to be like our arrestor hook on here, which has got loads of bags of detail on that as well. Moving along, we have cockpit tub. Right, no detail on the cockpit tub, but it's one of those where everything builds on top, which if I flip, no, it's this side, which you could probably, oh, where's it gone now? I did see it earlier. Maybe it's not on this sprue, but on another sprue, but we'll get to that in a second. Now look, the air brakes, they are looking so well detailed as well. Even our wheel well doors, right, lovely detail as you can see all the way along. Our actual wheel wells themselves, because they're built up like a box, it's like everything's gonna have loads of lovely detail. A little bit more sort of going on there. Where else? What else have we got? Here's a bit of, okay, I mean, we do have, this is our wheel wells, I do believe. Our rear ones, no, I suppose. See, I mean, that's why I like, because I mean, this is the front part of the wheel well, as you can see, because it's like a box. You know, you've got detail on there, and then it's all kind of flat, so you can just bring it together, and there's detail everywhere. But when they do it as one piece, like this, you know, you don't tend to get as much nicer detail, and there is a bit of, well, looks to be a bit of flash on there to maybe take care of as well. Oh, here we have a bit of our landing gear as well. No ejector pin marks in nasty places. Flash is looking good as well on them. And then what we've got just there, a bit more sort of cockpit detail. Do have 2 ejector pin marks there, but I'm sure the seats, ejector seats, will cover them up. Fingers crossed, one to maybe look out for there a little bit. Again, you know, we've got a couple of just weapons going on in here, which we won't get everything out of the bag, because we've got the general gist of it. Next sprue, what do we have on this one? We've got some cockpit detail on this one. Again, some more lovely weapons. If you don't use them all, they're going to be good to actually go off and keep because they look really nice. Cockpit detail, here we have like some of our side panels and stuff, again looking good, nice lovely recesses, buttons and dials going on there, as you can see, loads of them. Right, and this is what's going to build up that plain cockpit tub. We've got our instrument display panel. Right, just there, looking good as well. Our pylons looking so detailed. The surface detail is just lovely on this. We have our ladder just here, which is nice that they've added that as well. Just flipping this over just to check we've got no sort of problems with it. Just flip it over again. We've got a bit of, what details that? I'm not sure where that is. Might be a bit of wheel well detail, but looking nice and crisp in there. Again, I won't get all the sprues out, but we do have like fuel tanks, clear parts for like our Mavericks. The one thing I do want to look at is this is our air intakes, which you can just see inside the plastic there. We do have ejector pin marks, which can potentially be a bit of a shame. It is quite a lot to look down and through there, so I mean, but you know, a bit of filling and sanding of those ejector pin marks that are in there, and you should be all good. Last we have canopy, right? So let's just get this canopy out. Oh, that's already looking so nice and shiny. Again, you never really pick these up quite well on camera. Always best just to throw to the light, and they are absolutely perfectly crystal clear. Now there is a mold line going down the middle, so you know, scraping that back, polishing it up, and you should be all good. Moving along. Oh, now I will say this kit is going to cost you around about the £75 mark. Not exactly a cheap kit, but it's looking well worth it. And if you're a Genesis Models subscribing member, you can have up to 30% off in store, so kind of makes it a lot more cheaper that way. So let's have a look. Now we've got a few little goodies in here, right? Like we have some canopy masks. Always a nice touch, adds the value to the kit. Then we have pitot tube, which is very nice that they've added a pitot tube to this kit. I really do love adding them to mine. Now, I know they cost a couple of quid, but you know, it's nice to add it in there. And I do believe it's the vertical stabilizers, a bit of metal just going on there. I'm not sure why it needs that, but maybe it needs a bit of strength. But it's kind of like quite a big thick piece of photo etch going on with that. Then we have our decals or decals, depending on where you are in the world. Right, these are pretty good decals actually. They're kind of like your typical kind of Tamiya kind of decals. I do believe in, you kind of want to use the Mr. Mark Stofter and Setter, but we do have decals for our cockpit area, as you can just see just there. We do have these big lung pieces, which, you know, it's nice that they've added it, but normally with this kind of stuff it is kind of good to maybe try and spray it down, but they have added them if you want to go that way. Then we have all our little markings just here, hopefully as you can see there. We've got the little writing does look like it's nice and readable, hopefully as you can see. Looking quite clear in register. We've got some nice kind of little markings just there. The colours look good. You know, I doesn't look like we're going to have any problems with the markings, fingers crossed. So last up, we are going to take a look at our instructions and how this is going to be going together. So let's bring you in a little bit closer. Right, the instructions are nice, good quality, glossy, in colour. Set of instructions, and when we kind of see our first page here, it does quite nicely show quite clearly like where the decals are going to be going, where the pieces are going to be going. It does give us color call outs, which is rather nice that they do that, especially when it's like a £75 kit. I mean, that's the one thing. I'm doing the Apache by Takom at the moment, and their instructions, you know, it's like they've rushed through them, which is not kind of good, because like we haven't got any color call outs or anything like that in there. So nice to see Meng doing that. But yeah, cockpit looking quite cool, quite straightforward. Now our horizontal stabilizers, really kind of cool here, because it actually sort of connects both of them up, and it does look like they can be moved. So when you move one, the other side's going to move as well, so that's a nice little touch. We have some landing gear bays just here, looking quite straightforward. Right, and they go on our bottom part of our fuselage wing section quite easily. Air intakes, exhausts, wings, seems quite straightforward. Now I know with like the Hasegawa kit, these air intakes look similarly the same how they fit, but the Hasegawa ones, they're a little bit iffy, bit of fit issues just because of the shape of the aircraft. I mean, this is something I would say, you know, be careful, test fit and whatnot, but if it goes together the way that Hornet's going together by Meng as well, I mean, it just drops together so beautifully. And once you've got to this stage, we're putting that top part of the fuselage section on, and we've pretty much got the main sort of shape going on. We can have our flaps in the retracted or extended position, so we can add whatever kind of pose we want to this. Exhaust going in, our vertical fin going in, seems kind of straightforward. Does look like, you know, a lot of slats, flaps and all this kind of stuff we can have in those different positions. Air brakes, looks like we can have that up or down. You know, a lot of cool stuff that we can do with this. Then we have our landing gear. Looks pretty, it does look like they've because sometimes like they cram everything in. It doesn't feel like these instructions they've crammed everything into like one page. It's like they've spreaded them out a bit, and it just makes it look so easy to sort of follow. We then have our pylons with all those nice sort of countermeasures on there, all our weapons, pylons, fuel tanks, lots and lots of cool stuff that goes on here. I mean, yes, I mean, there's a nice amount of weapons on here, which is cool, which is definitely better than the Hasegawa kit. Would be nice if there's a few more, but you know, I mean, there's enough here to get you going. If you wanted to do any more different types, you know, get some aftermarket parts. Then it finishes off by the looks of it with our ejector seats, the ladders, canopy, open or closed by the looks of it. Then we have the pitot tube, which does look like you've got a plastic version, or you can go for the metal version. Different ways of going about it, which is, you know, again, rather cool. They put a metal one in there. I do like the metal ones. And then we move along, and then we've got, I do believe, about 3 different sets of markings. Right, as you can see, we've got our first there, then we've got our second one there, the kind of like grey camo scheme going on there. And then we have this kind of like 3 colour camo scheme, which is kind of cool to kind of go down that route with the shark's teeth going on there. Then we have all our colour callouts and all our markings and decals for all our weapons and pylons. Then it also shows you where our masks go, which is again quite cool that they're including the ones for the wheel masks as well. And there we go. I gotta say, I mean, I know it's £75, which ain't bad for like what is a brand new tool. A lot of plastic, a lot of lovely little extras, you know, metal pitot tubes and all your canopy masks and stuff. Decals look great, surface detail looks fantastic. Again, I'm building the Hornet right now, and it's so beautifully, it's so fun, it just goes together so lovely. And if it's anything, if this Phantom is anything like that Hornet going together, this is going to be an absolute joy to build and put together. And you could probably even say it's probably the best F4 Phantom that you could go out there and buy and build, you know, if it goes together anything like the Hornet, which I'm pretty sure it probably will. And I really want to build this. I do really want to build this, so I will eventually get around to building it. So yeah, definitely a big thumbs up here at Genesis Models. Apart from that, as always, until next time, my name's Bob Waldron, this is Genesis Models, and I hope you've enjoyed.